What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Bronx Pinstripes Show, ALCS Game 1 recap. Yankees take the first game. Believe it or not, I was in attendance at that game, and you'll notice I'm in my normal setup, and it is not that far after the game ended. I have an extra smile on my face because I'm in disbelief that I'm sitting in my house, and I was at the game. Yes, I left early, but I was there for most of the game. What's up, Scott?
What's up, man? Hey, look, it's dedication to doing the post game show, right? The debacle in the 8th inning of whatever the base runners was a good cue, because you know what, Luke Weaver had the game in hand. The kid is unbelievable. Ever since he stepped into this role, he's been unbelievable. But absolute story of this game, Mr. Carlos Rodon.
I'm going to
say his name right.
After you gave me so much crap for mispronouncing his name earlier.
I did that on purpose. Carlos Rodon is he's redeemed himself for the time being. The man that was his best start as a Yankee. That's it. You given the circumstances,
sure.
given everything, nine strikeouts. He had almost a 50% swing and miss rate with the swings that were there. It was like 47. They swung. I have the number in the stat in the thing. If you give me a second, I'll find it. But it was close to 47% or close to 50%. Yeah, he was really good, man. 25 whiffs on 53 swings.
Anyway, I mean, there was so many quick, efficient innings too.
He got better. He got stronger, it seemed, as the game went on. I mean, and he was pumping the fastball. His slider was really good. He was commanding the zone with the fastball. Didn't walk anybody. So we talked about fastball command. Can he control the strike zone, and be able to use that secondary pitch to get the swing and miss. And goddamn, did he do that? The slider was really good. And the longest at bat was the first one of the game, which you're going to get from 9 or 10 pitch at bat to Kwan.
That's classic Kwan. He's just going to wear down pitchers. And I thought that Rodon he obviously gave up the home run to the number 9 hitter, and he gave up 2 hard hit balls in the gaps that Judge ran down on Ramirez, but otherwise
pretty effortlessly too. I mean, Judge,
dude, the wind was just smothering fly balls.
Yeah, could you feel it? You guys were
we were in section 214, really good seats, which is kind of behind first base dugout a little bit to the right field side of first base dugout, middle level. But yeah, the wind was pretty strong, and especially in right field, you saw a lot of balls get knocked down, fly balls out to right field, which makes Soto's home run to right center field even more impressive, because off the bat, Soto's home run, I'm like, oh, that's gone, no doubt about it. And then the ball seemed to pause in midair. And
he saw the same thing, because he started picking it up on the base path.
And it just started dropping like a rock. And I'm like, that's going to get caught at the wall. But it got out. And then, of course, Stanton's like, F you, wind. I'm going to hit it through the wind.
Yeah, no, that's it. And then Stanton, he
hit it through the wind. That thing
114 miles per hour off the bat. It was just a piss missile. He smoked the ball. He continues to hit. Judge hit a ball hard, walked, but still waiting for the hit to come.
Well, that first inning, because the Yankees, they won the game, which awesome. They won the game. You take a 1-0 series. I thought this game for Cleveland, as I said in our preview pod, this game is so pivotal for Cleveland, because I think it was the most winnable for them, right? They're facing a lefty. They've got good numbers off lefties. Rodon, no Yankee fan trusts Rodon going into this game.
Yep.
And I know a lot of Cleveland fans in the comments on our last YouTube video are giving me crap. I pissed off the city of Seattle 15 years ago, whatever that was.
That was so long ago.
I seem to have pissed off the city of Cleveland, but that's fine. And listen, I know you shouldn't disrespect an ALCS opponent.
You should. No. I'm on your side now, because the Yankees, the majority of those runs, they were 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position.
They were gifted runs.
There were, hold on, I think
3 wild pitches and 2 pass balls.
5. Okay, fine. 5. I think they were
okay. They were all
wild pitches.
Okay, but in the
5
moment,
wild pitches. 5 wild pitches.
That's insane.
And they walked half the guys too. So the amount of free runners that were on base that the Yankees
and free bases that those runners got, including 2 to score runs.
Yes.
If the Yankees, how many base runners did the Yankees have in the first 3 innings? It felt like everybody was on base. If they get one hit, this game is a blowout, and it's not even close.
100%. That's it. You look at the first inning. Glaber singles immediately on the first pitch. We said you got to be aggressive against Cobb because you're going to get to the bullpen no matter what. So he's not going to go deep in the game no matter what. So working the count against a guy like Cobb doesn't do anything. You got to be aggressive.
Yeah,
if he gets you out, he gets you out. He was giving up singles, but so Glaber gets on, Soto gets on, Judge strikes out, and then
Wells strikes out, Stanton flies out. And
Stanton flies out with the Wells ground out, advance the runner. So you had second and third for Stanton's two Wells, out for his.
I thought they were going to walk Stanton. I thought they were going to pitch around.
They're going to give him the Judge treatment for this. Yeah, I mean the way he's been going,
first base open,
and then you get the second inning. You have a Rizzo's on, Verdugo's on, and then Glaber grounds out. Verdugo's on first.
He grounded out.
Yep. So 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position after the first two innings.
Yeah. And the runs that they ended up scoring after the Soto home run were because of walks and wild pitches.
Judge walk, Stanton walk, Volpe walk, bases juiced. That's when Cobb was pulled. Yeah. Wild pitch, Judge scores. Rizzo 4-pitch walk, just wasn't even close. Wild pitch, Stanton scores. Verdugo K. Yankees are up 3-0. We haven't done a damn thing yet, except for a Juan Soto home run.
One hit in any of those situations, it's 5 or 6-0.
Yeah, 100%. And look, this is going to... Look, it is the AL Central that has been giving the Yankees these opportunities, and these are gifts. These are absolute gifts as runs. They got to get this big hit. They got to get this big hit.
Do they have to get it when you're playing? I'm not saying playing the Guardians or playing the Royals.
Eventually, it's going to bite them in the ass. Yes, whether it's now or if they do end up advancing in the next round, it's going to bite them in the ass. They have to get this big hit. They have to get used to getting this big hit with Cleveland. Then, and if you're not doing it against the starting pitching, it's going to be that much more difficult to do it against the bullpen, because I know the first kid that came out, the lefty,
this
was
vaunted
bouncing
Cleveland
balls
bullpen comes in
place.
there, can't find home plate. Like what the heck? Like. This Cleveland bullpen is supposed to be like it was no surprise.
They have a lot more weapons ready to come.
I know they have a lot more weapons, but it's no surprise they pulled Cobb when they did. They were going to get him out of there around that point anyway. They weren't going to let him go much deeper through the Yankees lineup again. And so the bullpen comes in and the guys just bouncing pitches, and walking guys walking Rizzo on 4 pitches. Rizzo hasn't seen live pitching since he broke his fingers 2 weeks ago.
So you brought in, but look, I mean, you saw what they could be though, because Avila came in and shut it down. He went 2 2/3 with a strikeout and gave up absolutely nothing beyond that. He was getting a good amount of fly ball outs. Sobrowski comes in, is inning and a third. He gives up the home run, but also has 3 strikeouts. So, I mean, again, the Yankees just didn't take advantage of any of the opportunities that were given to them. Thankfully, the Guardians continue to compound on those gifts, and they ended up in runs, and then obviously Stanton and Soto with the home runs. But the pitching performance by the Yankees is the reason they won this game. That's it. They won this game because the pitching performance was extremely dominant. Rodon came out and just quieted the critics. He did. You didn't think he was going to get past the 5th inning, probably because of pitch count, probably because just the 3rd time through. But he was extremely efficient for Carlos Rodon, but he was relatively efficient just on a general basis. And in the swings and miss against a team that does not strike out, that shouldn't go that shouldn't go miss. Like this team does not strike out, and he struck out 9 guys in 6 innings. So
yeah,
hell of a job.
He was 70 pitches through 5 innings, so he was efficient. He had a couple quick pitch innings. Absolutely, he was the standout in this game, and the Yankees pitching has carried them through their first 4 victories of the playoffs. It certainly hasn't been the offense. The offense has done the bare minimum to win games.
When did Clay Holmes start throwing the 4-seam fastball?
Were those 4-seamers?
Yeah, he threw 3 4-seam fastballs, and I'm pretty. Someone hit me on Twitter on his last
after you
after I called it out. I'm like, hey guys, maybe we should just throw the one that goes straight. Maybe maybe that's it. Maybe there's just that'll help the command issues. But no, he was good again. That him in this 7th inning role is just at whatever point it is, relative fire extinguisher, first guy out of the bullpen. If the starters can go relatively deep,
Well,
he's been very good.
That's exactly how the Yankees want to draw it up. You get 6 innings out of your starter, and you can go some combination of Holmes, Canely. I know Canely didn't pitch tonight, but Hill ended up getting that 8th inning spot, and then Weaver. That's exactly how you're drawing it up.
100%. And that was the only, if you're looking for any type of a second guess or just a question, I understand what happened there. Tim Hill comes out, starts the 8th inning. Wasn't expecting that. I was expecting to see Canely starting the 8th. And I know that Tim Hill against the lefties is what the quote lane that he wants to be in. But Canely also effective against lefties. I would have thought that Canely was going to be in. That's the only thing, because if you have Canely in for the 8th, Weaver in for a traditional save on the 9th, now you have both of those guys still available tomorrow. And I would assume Weaver's not going to be available tomorrow.
How many pitches did he throw?
I didn't see how many pitches exactly he threw, but
it was an inning and 2/3, right?
It was an inning. He got 5 outs. Here, I got it right here. He threw 24 pitches. So
that's not that many pitches.
Not crazy. Maybe he'll be available, but you throw Canely in the 8th, you definitely have both of them available. It's possible he won't be though.
And so on that weird play in the 8th inning, so full disclosure, Stanton hits that home run in the 7th inning.
Yeah.
And I went to the game with Neil Keefe. Neil and I stood up, hit the bathroom, walked out of the stadium. But as we were walking out of the stadium, that weird play at first base is happening, and we're watching it in the Grand Concourse. There's that giant TV above the steakhouse, and we're still inside the stadium, and that weird play is happening. And I was like, oh, they're calling obstruction. They're giving, and I couldn't. The announcers are not speaking, so it's just the TV, but there's subtitles, and so I can sort of follow along with what's going on. But they're going to award him second base, and I turned to Neil. I'm like, should we go back to our seats? He's like, we're either going to be really disappointed, or the Yankees are going to hold on. So let's just beat traffic. And we beat traffic.
And Weaver he walked a guy in the 9th, which walked a leadoff guy out there.
And then fell behind 3-0.
He doesn't walk many guys, but then he battled back and just showed why he's the guy for that role. They keep calling him the closer on the broadcast, even though that's not a name that's ever been given to him. But that's finisher. Exactly what he's acting like. He's definitely acting like the finisher. I kind of like that. And he's even when he gets into a little bit of trouble, kind of like seeing him get into a little bit of trouble and then get out of that trouble too. Shows another side that we hadn't seen because he's been so goddamn dominant. Yeah, but. He was phenomenal again, and we'll see if he's available tomorrow in a tight game. I don't know. 24 pitches very well might be.
I think he's got to be available in a game 2 situation. Is he going to go Is he going to go for more than 3 outs? No, but I think he'll be available for an inning in game 2.
Yeah, it's possible. 24 pitches isn't egregious, so I can.
You got Wednesday off. Like it's not.
Yeah. No, it's just a matter of how he feels, I guess. But.
They could also pick a spot.
His personality, like that dude ain't backing down.
They could also pick a spot for him where if they need to get a big out to finish the 8th inning, they could go to Weaver, and then you don't have to.
Yeah, but he's the closer now.
No, he's the finisher. He finishes innings. Might be the 9th inning. It should be the 9th inning, but maybe it's the 8th inning.
So I asked our guys about Bo Naylor, the other brother, the brother that doesn't scare me. Bo Naylor officially does not scare me. Josh Naylor, little unhinged, kind of scares me a little bit just because who knows what the hell that guy's going to do. Bo Naylor, I did not realize how bad of a defensive catcher he was. I'm trying to find it.
So
Bo Naylor tied for 5th amongst catchers, minimum 80 innings with 7 pass balls this season.
Okay. Is he there for his offense? Because Neil and I were talking about this at the game. He's got like a 610 OPS.
I was going to say he doesn't hit either. So I don't know.
What the hell is he there for?
I don't know. Wouldn't surprise me if we don't see him starting the game in game 2 because he got pulled.
And he's also lefty. Why did he even start against Rodon? He's a lefty hitter.
These are all questions that I don't have answers to. It's the other side.
This is why the AL Central is not a serious division. Like this is not. Does this feel like the ALCS to you?
It does. It feels like the ALCS because
Yeah.
it's cold. Yeah, it looks like the ALCS.
It was cold as shit.
It's
today.
in the Bronx.
It was cold and windy. Yeah,
It very much has the look and feel of everything. And frankly, like I'm used to seeing seeing Cleveland in the playoffs.
That's fair enough
around this point too. So,
and I still think that they've got players in there that you have to respect. Bo Naylor's not one of them.
No, Bo Naylor's not one of them. He's now he's going to get a massive hit, but no, he was terrible behind the plate. I mean, even some of those, I'm sure it was hard for you to see, but I think the first one he scooped it and then flung it with his glove, and it went
the one that
away.
went up to the first base line.
Yeah. So he actually had it, and then it just like slingshot out of his glove and went flying.
And then there was one where Glaber advanced to second, where if he makes a good throw, Glaber's out.
Yeah, Glaber advanced twice on the on 2 wild pitches on that at bat.
Okay, yeah. Then he advanced there. I mean, what are we doing here?
It was a lot of this. It was just a lot of running the bases, and like it was a little league game for half the time. Like I literally watched this. When you're watching little league, you see guys just running the bases, and that is exactly what was happening.
Here's a conversation though. Is it time to shake up the lineup and get Wells out of the cleanup spot? Because I know you're not moving Judge onto the third spot, but right now Judge and Wells back to back have been hurting you offensively, coming up with runners on base and not coming through. Why not move Stanton up to the cleanup spot and just bump everyone up and then shift Wells down to the whatever that would be, 7th spot?
I don't know because Stanton's hitting in the 5th. You could do that. I think it would be warranted at this point.
But Wells has done nothing.
The problem is that you go after Stanton when you're looking at the bottom half. And I know Volpe had been
Volpe's looked
having
okay,
better
actually.
at bats
He's
in the
having
ALDS.
Okay.
But where are you going to move him? You're going to continue to bump him up and move Wells down. I think if you move Wells down, you're only moving him down one spot, but then you don't have the lefty righty that
you're
Boone
not
absolutely
moving
loves.
him down. No, I think you would do
because Jazz hasn't done a damn thing.
Jazz has done nothing either. I'm just trying to figure out how we get Stanton up a little bit more with runners on base.
Yeah, I don't.
And the fact that Judge and Wells, this is now 4 situations they've come up in 5 games. 4 situations they've come up in early game situations where just one base hit changes the game entirely.
And Glaber and Soto have been so good getting on base and setting that table.
So good.
Yeah.
And Judge, I know he had a sac fly tonight, he had a walk tonight, but like that first inning strikeout followed up by that Wells ground out, that killed the momentum in the first inning. And then we saw what the Yankees could not do with runners in scoring position in the second inning. I don't know. I know they're not going to shake it up because they're winning. And so that's an argument to say, let's just keep it the way it is. And hopefully one of these guys comes around and starts hitting. And I think that's fine against Cleveland because they're not a real opponent. But I think that it's a fair question.
It is. Do you think that Verdugo, just starts every game? Does Dominguez?
Didn't Boone say that? And Verdugo had a hit tonight.
He did, but I don't understand then why Dominguez is on the roster. I don't know where he plays. Emergency what? Emergency what?
I don't know.
In an emergency, you're probably playing Grisham just because of the defense. And
we talked about this in the preview pod.
If the wind is swirling like it was today, if we're getting some fall wind, because the wind definitely starts swirling a little bit more this time of year.
But that was the thing. You saw some outfielders have to make late adjustments on fall.
Oh, I know. Today. And that's another reason why Dominguez will not be in the game.
Fair enough, though.
Yeah, 100%. But the question is where in the hell does he even play? Like,
I don't think he does.
When does he even show up in the series?
Like I said, if you've got a pinch hitting situation for, I don't know. Another thing we have to talk about, Rizzo didn't make that play at first base in that 8th inning.
Yep.
That was on the obstruction play. That's a play you got to get your first baseman to make. Rizzo, maybe he's rusty. He's back starting, so we said if he's on the roster, are they going to start him? The answer is yes. He did.
So before that, everything was saying Rizzo looks totally normal.
Hit a hard line drive, had a walk, but then
looks healthy.
The weird thing is, he comes out of the game in the 9th inning for defense. I mean, seemingly.
I mean, yeah, that's why you get pulled, right?
Well, no, it could be injury. It could be injury.
Well, maybe. I don't know. So anybody in the chat, if you saw Boone's post game, obviously we're doing this, so we didn't see the post game. Was there anything about Rizzo getting pulled in the 9th inning, or
because here's the thing: if all else,
because he missed that ball, it was a ball that he normally makes, no doubt about it. But yes,
so
he hasn't played first base in a while. So
if all else is equal, are we actually saying, is Boone actually saying Rizzo needs a defensive replacement for Oswaldo Cabrera? If anything, why wouldn't you put Birdie?
Yeah, I don't know. I was surprised to see him out there, obviously. But all things were pointing to Rizzo looking good. I mean, the comments were that he felt fine, got some extra padding in there. Like all of that was good. And yeah, he was swinging the bat well and got a hit and hit the ball hard. So, and if he's healthy, if he's there and he's right, he's an improvement, no doubt about it. Like that's what you want, his bat in there, because it can be a difference maker if he's feeling good. So that's a good thing. And I know we were talking about, is he going to be even available on this roster? And then at what point did the Yankees put him on the roster to start? Or is it, he's on the cusp of feeling good, maybe needs a couple days so that he's going to be there to give him a few more days, but they got to get him on the roster. Clearly that wasn't the case because they started him today. So,
all right. So what's the path for Cleveland to get back in this series? Is it that, okay, they've had some minor past success off of Cole, certainly a lot of experience off of Cole. So it's not like they're going to be going into that, have it, blind or anything. There's a lot of experience they could tap into. And the Guardians have, I guess you can argue, their best starter in, I say it, Bibee. Tanner
Bibee. He's
going, and he's probably their best starting pitcher. Oh wait, we just got in the chat. Aaron Boone says Anthony Rizzo is fine. You only take him out because the first baseman was physically and emotionally spent by the end of the game.
That's a quote unquote, physically and emotionally spent by the end of the game. He expects Rizzo to be back in the. That's from Max. Thank you, Will. Will in the chat. Thank you. But Max Goodman tweeted that out.
Seriously?
Physically and emotionally spent. Okay.
What are we doing here? What the fuck is going on?
I gotta hear more about that one for me to react to that. But if that's weird, that's very strange.
That's a weird comment to say.
That is a weird comment. Why would you say that?
Why would you say that?
Why would you even say that? So the best lane. This is a guy who's thrown so far 2 games, 2.08 ERA in the postseason, 8 innings, 9 strikeouts, 1.27 WHIP. Their best lane is to throw up some zeros and get into the bullpen.
3 starts, 8 innings.
Yes, 8 and 2/3. Well, that's what they do. This is what they do. They go to the bullpen. They're going to get to the bullpen. Then hope they can put up zeros. And that's it.
They're not.
The Yankees can't lose this series.
Somebody is like, Guardians, go prove me wrong. Go prove all the comments on our last YouTube video right, and prove that you're a real team. Because what you showed tonight is not real. You can't. The Yankees once again said, we're not going to take your gifts. We're not going to get hits with all these runners on base. And Cleveland's like, we're going to one-up you, and we're going to just throw the ball to the backstop so you can run home.
Yeah. 5 times. It's true.
Will it work against the Dodgers and the Mets? I don't know. Let's worry about it then. But all I know is for this series they're playing right now, I don't see it. They got 2 solo home runs today. Have the Yankees played a single game this postseason? 5 games now. Have they played a single good game in your opinion? Like a good complete game? They've pitched well. They've certainly pitched well. But have they played like a good complete game?
The offense hasn't done what it needs to do. No. This has been the MO, and the reason why they've been ousted in the past is because the offense hasn't showed up. And
yes,
right now,
and when you're
what's
playing,
happening, but they never get the gifts. They didn't get the gifts like they're getting currently.
But even if they got a gift, it would be 1 gift, not 10 gifts, right? And if you're wasting opportunities against a dynastic Houston team, you're never going to win. or a historically good Boston Red Sox team in 2018, you're never going to win if you're wasting opportunities. But the Yankees, you can waste opportunities against Kansas City and Cleveland and still win. You can not play well offensively and still win. You can make errors like they did in the Kansas City series and still win.
The Yankees walked seven times today and struck out 9 times.
Didn't we say, and I was wrong about this, I said, oh, there's one thing that the Guardians pitching staff is not going to do. It's not going to give them a bunch of free passes. I was wrong about that.
Well, and they also, the flip side of it is that to the Yankees' credit and to Carlos Rodon's credit is that we didn't think that they would be susceptible to the strikeout, and he struck out 9 guys.
I mean, it's a credit to the Yankees pitching tonight. Absolutely. Rodon was great. He talked to Susan in the post game about being even keeled. He did admit he was overamped in that first game. He said he said something along the lines. I came out like sort of too amped up or something like that.
That's because he was
because he
chewing.
Was. Did you
see? Because he said he was chewing on Adderall before he walked out.
Yesterday, I believe he said that his highs are high and his lows are lows. I'm like, well, you might want to work on that a little bit as a starting pitcher.
Remember when he left last year and went into he just got a condo by himself for like a month in Florida.
Left his kids at home.
I mean, those lows. Someone needs to check on that man.
But if you notice when he got big outs tonight, just
act like you've been there. That's what you're supposed to do. Act like you've been there. You're a big game pitcher. You got paid to be a big game pitcher. Act like a big game pitcher. And today he did that. He did exactly that. So he gave us everything plus. Like I was not expecting him to do that. I really thought that because in the first at bat, I'm like, oh, here we go. And I know what Quan is. Quan is the guy who's going to do that more than anybody. Ramirez also, but Quan's like the guy who's going to do that. He's going to foul off 15 pitches. And 9-10 pitch at bat. I think the first one, I'm like, here we go. They're going to work the hell out of the count. This is going to be a very long day for him because he wasn't able to get the swing and miss in that at bat. But boy, did he stop. I know. But he came and brought the swing and miss. I mean, the numbers are right there. 27 swings and miss. That's phenomenal.
Huge. It's huge.
Yeah. So.
Right. Cleveland
tomorrow night, no game off, no day off. That's good. We got some momentum going into a day, which is fun because we haven't had that yet.
Is this going to be a series?
We'll see after tomorrow.
Okay.
Because then they go to Cleveland for 3 games. You know.
Sure. I guess
maybe 2.
If the Guardians steal game 2, then yeah, it's a series.
Well, they can still win in Cleveland. You know.
Maybe.
But underneath their own lights.
Last thing I want to say. So I think it was the 3rd inning. I went up to the concessions, got some nice chicken tenders and fries, and I said, "I'll have a Stella."
In a bucket?
No, just a regular thing. I didn't need to get the bucket for like 12 people for just myself. I got a Stella, and the woman mumbled something. I'm like, "Excuse me?" She's like, "If you give me a nice tip, I'll get you another Stella." I'm like, I just want the one Stella. I'll still give you a tip, but I just want the one Stella. And then
what was she looking for?
That's
usually the tips go to the house.
But this is then where I went in my brain because I was like, okay, she wants a cash tip. So $5. That's not gonna get me a free Stella. Like she's not gonna take a $5 tip. That's not a nice tip. So she must be looking for $10 to get that free Stella for me.
How much is the Stella?
Anything more than 10, I'm like, I'm just buying another Stella. Like,
is it 11 or 14?
I think it's like 14 something because it's the double. It's like the 24 ouncer. So I think it's actually like 16 something. But I'm like,
so if you give her $10, you're getting $6 off the beer.
Yeah, I feel like so you're looking for $10 so I can buy 2/3 of my next Stella. Like, okay, sorry, I only want the one. I'm driving. By the way, I'm leaving early so I can beat traffic. I told her that.
I wonder how many times, because if you say that, there 9 out of 10 people that don't overanalyze the situation are going to give her the cash, and then she's going to give the beer. It's that will happen because people will be shocked that she said such a thing, and they'll think they're getting something.
Yeah.
So how many people you think give her $5? I bet she does it for $5. I bet she does it for $5 because clearly she can get away with it.
Yeah, it's got to, but like, how is she just giving away? I get on tap. You can just like, how they tracking taps.
They're
But
counting. You can still count.
yeah, but not as easy as counting cans.
I mean, yes, that's true.
Anyway, Will says in the chat, love the energy from Andrew. I've been listening to the pod for 6 years and never seen him this optimistic.
It's not optimistic, just so you know.
Scott knows.
It's not optimism about the Yankees. It's complete disregard for the team on the other side.
Complete disrespect for the opponent.
That is what it is. It is absolutely nothing
If
to do
the
with
Yankees get to the World Series,
Yankees.
you will not see me this optimistic. Believe me.
Well, speaking of the other side,
because here's the thing: go look at. I know the Mets won.
The Yankees have to show something. I mean, they just the pitching has been there, but you got to hit. You got to hit in the postseason. You got to take advantage of your opportunities, and that's what I need. I need to see that from the Yankees. I need to see them, and it starts. You know who that starts with? It starts with Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge has to hit. He's got to hit at some point, or this is not going to end in a championship. He's got to hit. The pitching is doing their job.
I know the Dodgers have some problems. Like, they're by no means the perfect team. I don't think there's a perfect team in baseball this year. But it's like the Dodgers put out a lineup today of Ohtani, Betts, Hernandez, Freeman, and Smith. That's that's basically the NL All-Star team for the first 6 batters.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
And then you go over to what the Yankees have faced so far in the postseason. It's just not the same thing. That's my point.
It's not the same thing. It's not the same.
It's not the same.
But you look at what the Mets have done something, very
Mets,
similar. Even today, bam. I mean, they just absolutely jumped on them.
No team, and then I'm not saying that the National League is unbeatable. It certainly isn't. I think the Yankees will. It's a coin flip. Whoever they play in the National League, I just don't see it as a coin flip against the Royals and against the Guardians. We going into these playoffs. What did I say? The only team I would be fearful of is the Astros. It's not even because the Astros are that good this year. It's just because of the history that the Astros bring. And I know that if they get into the moment, they're not going to crap themselves because that's the kind of players and the kind of organization they've been. And I think maybe the Baltimore Orioles could have given the Yankees a little bit of a run just because of the talent on that roster. But damn,
they absolutely could have.
They had problems too in that bullpen, especially.
The bullpen absolutely was.
But so far, and I know the series is far from over. Caveat. Knock on wood. But like so far, the American League Central is not proving to be a worthy opponent because the Yankees, in my opinion, have played mediocre at best, and so far they have not struggled one bit.
I can't argue with you because it's true. This is exactly what's happened, and the Yankees pitching has been, dominant basically throughout. And it's the bullpen today gave up. Tim Hill gave up the first run that the bullpen has given up.
Yep.
On some weird plays.
I'm not discounting the Yankees pitching because realistically, the Yankees pitching was pretty good all year. But the lineups they're going up against have helped that. They have not had to face
They haven't had a ton of pressure.
They've
also stifled the best players coming on the other side as well.
I thought Ramirez, like I said, Ramirez hit 2 hard hit balls today that if the wind is not howling, who knows? Maybe those are in the gap or something like that. But
and then he had an opportunity with he was the tying run, and they got him to roll over on a ground ball to first base. So situationally, they took care of Jose Ramirez, which is the number 1 most lethal guy on that team. And he had an opportunity. He was up at the plate as the tying run. So there was an opportunity right there for him to do something. So, but he did not.
Well, it's a good game 1 win. Gonna see if the Guardians can steal game 2.
Got Garrett Cole on the mound. Not a good person you want to go up against if you're trying to steal a game.
Yeah, I really do think Cole can basically put the nail in the coffin tomorrow with a.
But look to this. Start. So the interesting thing, the storyline for tomorrow, I think, if you're looking at it, it's like what's the score in the 5th inning? Because if the score is 0-0 or 1-1 or 2-2 in the 5th inning, that's going to be more of a dogfight because tomorrow Cleveland is going to unleash their bullpen, full stop, and they're going to do everything they possibly can from that bullpen to win, to stifle the Yankees offense. So if the Guardians are able to scratch across a couple of runs, it's going to be a low scoring game, I think. And if they're able to shut down the Yankees in the first 3 to 4 innings, then we'll see what happens.
It'll be low scoring as long as the Yankees keep going over with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, but again, tomorrow, same game plan. Frankly, is you got to be aggressive with the starter. You have to be aggressive with the starter and see what you can get off of him.
All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. Thanks for everybody in the chat who participated in this live stream. We'll talk to you again after game 2.